All these clones, we the original.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
The tourists come over to chill on the beach, but they don't come over the hill where we sleep. We got nightmares and they got fantasies. No sanity, it's just insanity. My mommy hoping nothing happens to me.
Cool, you know, me with a different look. You know, I like to keep it funky with my shades and my headwear. But, you know, everything cool gonna be everything cool regardless. So today we have a very interesting guest. We tell y'all we was worldwide, but y'all ain't believe us. We have another Bahamian doing extraordinary things on the global stage. I just came across him about 2 weeks ago, but that's how things is go. We work in the spirit. We're just trying to push this message forward of trying to, you know, bring together Bahamian unity and things like that. So I'd like to introduce you guys. Actually, before I introduce our guests, I got to introduce myself. You know what it is. The former, your favorite side, the Negus of Nassau, St. Anton Alexander, Lord Jalen Willard. And we in here with the shaman, a.k.a. Conch Salad. Introduce
Conch
yourself.
Salad. I don't even need conch salad, bro.
Conch Salad with no conch. That's an
Right.
inside joke for those who know. But we got Marco.
What's going on?
And then we got Rated PG.
That's it. We got PG 13 in 3D.
In 3D, yeah. And last but not least, we have our guest, Mr. Rico Neely. My bad.
Yeah. You Nico just for today.
Mr. Rico Neely. And welcome to the show, sir. And what we always do on this show, we always like to start off the show with the Bahamian word, phrase, or saying of the day. And I'm going to give that distinction to you today to go about.
Oh, I don't even know. I guess. Oh, Gugamite.
Oh, Gugamite.
I ain't heard that in years.
So Gugamite, what does that mean?
That's like an ugly person.
Like an ugly. Hold on, how you spell it? Spell that for the viewers at large, because you know
Question. I think
The non-Bahamian viewers.
the non-Bahamian viewers.
I think it's Gugumite.
Gugamite.
Yeah,
Okay,
Gugamite.
all right, I like that. So, Mr. Neely is motivational speaker, right?
That too.
Motivational speaker, soon to be book publisher. He saw the show and he was like, "Yo, I gotta be a part of this." So now, like, tell us a little bit about yourself and, you know, what brings you here to Nassau, because he's based actually in New York.
Okay, so basically, I went off to school back in 2016.
Uh-huh.
I went to study culinary arts and hospitality management. But before that, I was on.
Okay.
Yeah, before that, I actually was on the national culinary team of the Bahamas.
Mm.
And I was team captain for the national junior culinary team of the Bahamas.
Big celebrity.
And so we went to Barbados and we became junior culinary team of the year for the Caribbean.
Cool.
Fast forward to more years, I started modeling and I published a book as of recently. That was in the quarantine, actually.
Okay.
Mm.
So I published my book, my very first book, and I started a self-publishing company. So basically, I help people self-publish their books. So whatever struggles and things I went through, I don't want people out to go through the same things as me.
Right.
So it's like, all right, let me help you. Let me help you publish your book. Let me help you make your dream a reality. So that's
Exactly.
me in a nutshell, pretty much.
That's great. And like you just said, a mouthful from
Very respectful.
from the junior national culinary team and the senior team to you being like, how did you jump from being is it chef? Are you considered a chef?
Yeah.
Okay, you went from being a chef to being a model to being a book publisher.
It's a lot of different disciplines.
Yeah.
So honestly, being in New York, I wanted to take advantage of the fact that I am in New York.
Yeah.
So it's like I could do literally anything I want to do.
Right.
But the problem then was like I didn't know who to connect to, like what to do. But well, as you can see, I'm very skinny. So
Hey.
I tried to put on weight for like years. So I was like, you know what, I can't put on weight. So let me like monetize it. So that's how I felt good about like the way I look. And so I started modeling, and one thing led to the next, and it became a thing. I actually walked in New York Fashion Week.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Man, you got to send us clips of all that things. We have a big time.
Right.
So that,
Real quick,
Okay.
a little montage.
it was like a
I get you, I
montage,
get
like,
you.
you know.
I can send it. And so I did that. Oh, I also like teach people how to cook as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I do that. And I do it like every year. So when I was in school, I used to come back every August. Yes, I hosted every August. But this year's going to be like a little different because, you know, like like COVID and everything.
Yeah,
Right.
COVID
I'm
messed
just
that
trying
up.
to figure out
Yeah.
if we're going to do like a virtual thing or if I'm just going to like invite people and like bring some people over to Nassau and just do like, I don't know, special. I'm not sure yet.
I mean, you could do it anyway because it's like everybody. I just like watched something last night where Kenny the Jet Smith is having like a virtual basketball camp where he's gonna have basketball players live. Like if you want to pay for the instruction for 2 hours,
Yeah.
you can have like a WNBA or NBA player, current player, like you know, go through the drills and stuff like that with you in prime time. So, you know,
Yeah.
COVID,
Pretty fire.
True.
yeah.
True. But I don't know. I want to do something that's like different. That's like different. Because right now, I actually like host classes every Thursday and every Tuesday with this transitional home back in New York.
Okay.
So basically, these women who just came out of prison and children whose parents are in prison. So I teach them how to like, whatever you want to learn how to make, honestly, I teach them how to make it. And so, I don't know. I want to do something different. I want to do
Right.
something different. I want something that's going to excite me. You know, it has to be fun for me. So if you're the one teaching it and it isn't fun, then it's like
Right.
you sense that energy.
Okay, but I did like you just said a lot, so I trying to cut it. Let's take it in parts, and then we can get to the book publishing bit.
Yeah.
So, what made you want to say I want to be a chef and then take my talents to New York? That being basically one of the biggest epicenter of arts, culture, fashion, anything. If you like, basically that being one of the biggest stages in the world, and you
Right.
saying I'm gonna make my mark in this city of bright lights, and you know, the whole clean in the city of Gotham, like you know,
Yeah.
and you saying you from the Bahamas, and I want to go there, and I want to make my mark.
Honestly, well, I've been cooking my entire life. So my grandmother used
Okay.
to teach me how to cook, and then my grandmother, my father. So that's like who laid down the foundation for me. Then I got a coach, and so from there, that's when I started competing, and then you know I started meeting other people, like the people on the national team, and like you know along the way. But going to New York, I actually wasn't supposed to go to New York. I was supposed to go to school in Florida,
Interesting.
and I ended up getting a full scholarship to Monroe College.
Okay.
But I really did not want to go.
Yeah,
Because I was
yeah.
like, I am going to Johnson & Wales. That was my dream school.
Yeah, that's what a lot of
And-
immense go
Right?
to.
And so my father was like, you know, let's go off the financial security. But I feel like it was the best decision ever, honestly. Because, I mean, it's New York.
Hey. Can't go wrong with New York.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like, I went to New I'm not like one of them behemoths who be like, I want to go off and I don't want to come back. My thing is, I want to go, get what I could get, like create a network, get like the people and bring it back home.
Hold
you
on,
know?
say it again for the people in the camera because we on a streak.
Right.
Oh yeah, say it again for those people so they could like you know absorb what you just said and let it sit in their brain. What you trying to do?
So my thing is, I want to go off, get what I could get, like get the connections, get the knowledge, get all of that, and bring it back home. Because then it's like, why not make the Bahamas a place where you know you want to come back to? But if everyone's leaving and like taking their talents elsewhere, it's like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
And then even to that, right? I ain't got a problem with you wanting to stay in.
yeah,
My thing is keep connections, but don't assimilate to whatever there. Be Bahamian in that space, but connect back to home and other
Facts.
Bahamians different
Yeah.
way. And that's what all we trying to do, you know, with this platform or other platforms. It's like, yo, okay, you in this space, let's connect or whatever, because that's the only way we can be stronger and, you know, be different in the midst of like spaces where, okay, we might blend in, but we want to stand out and we got something to bring.
real. And another thing is, I feel like with Bahamians, like when they come back from school, it's like, all right, we stuck on the island. I mean, you could always jump on a plane
Exactly.
and do what you want to do. So
Yeah.
even if I decide to say, oh, I don't want to be in New York anymore, and I want to live in Nassau today, I could always jump on a plane and continue doing what I'm doing. Say, okay,
Right.
just got to schedule it. You got to be disciplined
Yeah.
with your time. That's all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, what's the difference?
Exactly.
Essentially,
Like,
yeah.
you know, because it's like, that's what I always say. It ain't nothing to me. Okay, like how, okay, we reconnected and you live in New York. You think we ain't about to, when COVID opened up, you think I ain't about to come to New York and hit you up? No.
You should.
Exactly. Like, I'm like,
Right.
fam, I'm like, yo, I in this city for X amount of time
Yeah.
or whatever. And that's what we've been doing with, you know, because I used to go to school in Atlanta, lived there for 5 years. Like, I'm going to go back or whatever, whoever there, whether it be in Miami or Orlando. I know people there. I'm going to go there. Marco been to school in LA. Okay, we got to connect in LA. Let's go. Or whatever. I ain't got to be restricted to Nassau or build a company based on what we could do in Nassau. We live in a global village now.
Real
Right.
talk. Real talk.
Everyone just bridging the gap right now. So
Yeah.
it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah. So okay, so from culinary, so basically, how was it even getting him? Because I have a friend, Kevin Strachan. Like we always have different conversations, and he told me about how he used to model back. I think I don't want to put age on you, Kevin, but I can say back in the day, right? So like, you know, he was telling me the different experience how he used to model, and he's like because you like 6'2".
I'm like 6'4"-ish.
Okay, he like 6'4". Kevin like the same height. So how was it for you to get into the whole modeling industry and everything?
Honestly, how did that happen? Okay, so I did a shoot in February, and that was like, I just did it to do it.
Okay.
That was that. But nothing happened until, I think that was that August. I ended up in the hospital. And
Okay.
then, like, miraculously, I got healed. I was like, okay, I gotta go to church.
Oh man.
And so I went to church, and I met this lady. Her name is Sarita. So I met Sarita. So she played the role as, like, just like my publicist, basically. And
Okay.
so I went to, like, a lot of events, and I met a lot of, like doorkeepers or gatekeepers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And so that's how I really got in. And because I was like networking and meeting a lot of people, that's how like I got into like more. That's how New York Fashion Week happened, and then that's my first runway. That's how that happened as well, because I had like a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like so when you first like, you know, was invited to New York Fashion Week and was on the runway, like did you had any prior modeling experience? Were you trained, or that was a part of the process leading up to that point?
Honestly, I'll be honest with you, like I just figuring it out as I go. But
It's one of the
The
best
prodigy.
no, but I did like 2 shows prior to that.
Okay.
But even that show, like I worked for this guy named Adrian Alessio.
Okay.
And so that show was just like crazy because initially I had on like this outfit. It was like this maroon fit, and I wasn't supposed to have on a shirt originally. And mind you, I was like the skinniest person on this line, right?
Yeah.
And so what's even more crazy is I got booked for the show like 2 days prior to the show, right? So, anyways, long story short, right before I got onto the runway, he looked at me and he was like, "No, this fit's supposed to have a shirt." And then the stylist was like, "No, you didn't make a shirt for the fit." So he's like, he looked at this other guy and he's like, "Take off your shirt, put on the shirt." And it was like 15 people. It's like pitch black. I don't even know what's happening. I have on all these things, and it's like all I felt was like hands all over my body. It was like crazy, and they just like pushed me in the light, and it was like walk. And so like it's like 2 different runways, and so like by the time as I reached the end of the first runways, when I actually caught myself, I was like, okay, this is happening. Okay,
Right.
Oh,
But, yeah.
so you're using some sort of trance up until then.
basically, yeah, because I was
Wow.
like, okay, I was trying to catch myself because it's
Right.
like before then it was like okay, it was normal, and then in a split second it's like pitch black.
Right.
My clothes is off. My clothes are off. New clothes are on me.
Right.
And like they just push me. It's like okay,
Bright
do
lights,
what you need to do.
flashing, all kind of
Yeah.
people looking up at you.
Yeah.
So that
but
di-
it was lit though. That was fun.
That
Hey.
sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So would you ever go to Paris Fashion Week? And is that in
I
the
really
plans?
want to do that. I really
All
want
right.
to do that.
And like, okay, so what about also like, did that help with your bookings afterwards, with getting more model work, or you just didn't really super focus on that element?
It actually did.
Okay.
But even prior to that, I do like photo shoots and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I know like a lot of designers, so they'd be like, "Oh, come to my what they call it, my showroom, and then we do like a few shoots and stuff like that. But honestly, at this point, I tell people it's just like it's all God, because the things that I get, like the quality of like the shoots and like the designers, these people, it only could be God, honestly.
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, all right, I'm just enjoying the ride. So whatever comes, because if this like 2 years ago, if someone were to say, "Oh, you're modeling and you publish a book," I wouldn't have believed them. Honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what I already see about you, you're humble about all of this.
Now you gotta be.
Like, you
Thank
know.
you.
Right.
Because, like, you know, someone I know 9 times out of 10. How old are you?
I'm 20.
Bro, you 20.
Yeah.
Bro, like, you know,
Mine?
if I was 20 and you tell me I'm already an accomplished chef and I'm an accomplished model and I've been on New York Fashion Week, you wouldn't be able to talk to me. You wouldn't be able to talk to the average 20-year-old, because it's like,
Real.
fam, I didn't reach a space in my life. Obviously, because I'm that young, I don't know no better to be like, bro, like, just take it in one at a time. And as I age, that's when I realize, yo, you have to take things in stride. Nothing ain't promised. You just treat it like every other day.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, so like what sort of guided you to just be like, okay, this is just another opportunity to build myself and build my platform?
Honestly,
Like,
I
yeah.
mean, I go like I tell myself, at least I remind myself that, you know, like, you're up today, you're down tomorrow. So it's like, I mean, for me, my whole thing is like I treat people the way I'd want to be treated. So like,
Yeah.
if I'm having a conversation with you, I'm gonna talk to you the way I want you to talk to me. So it's like,
Right.
I don't want to have a conversation with someone who only want to talk about themselves. And it's
Yeah,
like,
right.
it makes
Yeah.
me feel like, oh, I'm small. You know, it's like, honestly, I would intentionally like not like mention certain things in certain conversations. I feel, you know, the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, I don't know. Just
So, like, you know, like, okay, so you basically, what high school you graduated from?
I graduated from Doris Johnson, actually.
Man, listen,
Without
ain't no
putting that-
limits
without
on this
putting
man. He graduated from high school 16, and by 20, my boy then is already as a
Right.
chef and already been on New York
Most
Fashion
people
Week.
would assume because you came from a government
Government school, you
that
can't
you
go-
have limitations that. Like,
Say it again.
Like if you explain the story that you explained, people would assume you came from a private school,
Yeah.
or maybe you didn't even go to school in the Bahamas.
Yeah, or even he didn't just come from just any private school. That had to been like Lifeiki or St. Andrews, or
but-
something.
Yeah, you breaking the mold right now.
Yeah,
you
like-
letting people know that whatever background,
Facts,
whatever situations, you could excel.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
I
big
mean-
up yourself.
Yeah, I mean, even I went to St. Anne's for like grade 7 to grade 11, but I graduated from Doris.
Right.
But even then, it's like I appreciate the experience because
Right,
it's
right.
like it's a different. I don't want to say it's a different world, because before I went to Doris, it was like I was expecting something. You know, you have an expectation.
Yeah. Right.
But it's like, honestly, it was so chill. Like
Right.
everyone's so chill. It was lit. Honestly, if I had a choice, I honestly would have went from like 10th grade.
Yeah.
And then in Port, I needed like the change of scenery, because it's like, you know, when you're doing the same thing every day,
Yeah.
Right.
it becomes like I just don't like the same. I hate routine. Like
Yeah.
I hate a
Right.
routine. So like that last year was like my best year, simply because it was new. Everything was new. Mind you, who I graduate with from primary school, like all of them went to Doris. So it's like I basically
okay.
right.
yeah, so I
the whole
graduated.
crew's done now.
Exactly. So I basically knew everyone for the most
Alright.
part. Yeah.
The interesting thing is a lot of greats came from Doris. Like, you know, Bay Santana.
know the name.
Like, okay,
The rapper,
you know the rapper.
a rapper.
What's your boy name? XX Tentacion.
Right.
He
Like-
ain't come from Doris.
No, you know it's clique members only.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bay Santana, he's Bahamian. He graduated from Doris too.
Oh, I hear about it. One of my friends was telling me about that.
Yeah, like I went to primary school with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, you know. So
It's
like
X.
you like the thing about it is it don't matter like where you come from, but it's about how you finish and what's your
What you do, right?
mentality
That's what you
Exactly.
do.
and how you approach things or whatever. like,
Agreed.
you know. But it's crazy. So okay, so after the fashion week, what else do you get? Because at 20 years old, what people won't understand is how did you really know what you wanted to do at such a young age, and what keeps inspiring you to reinvent yourself? You don't want to stick to the norm. You don't want to get laden down and tired by just doing one thing. And that's obvious because you didn't tell me you a chef, you a model, and then you telling us what we about to get into. that you become a book publisher. So obviously for you, it's always about finding the next exciting thing or something that can stimulate your mind and challenge you.
Yeah. So my thing is like, even in my house, like everyone in my house owns a business. Like my father has a soft wash company. My mother, she has a non-for-profit actually. She has a non-for-profit named the Fabulous Wives Association, and she has her own hair salon. My sister, she has a tutoring company, and she does photography.
Okay.
And then here's me. I do celebrate everything at this point. But growing up, they always told us like, okay, they didn't want us to work a government job. Not saying that anything's wrong with that,
No, yeah.
Right.
but they were always like, you know, you look at certain positions and people who work a government jobs, like everyone have the same problems, everyone live in the same house,
Yeah.
you have the same lives, and it's like if you really want something different, you have to do different, you have to
Right.
be different,
Right.
And so, I don't know, we always had like free range to do whatever we wanted to do, but I feel like entrepreneurship was always like embedded in me and my sister from like primary school. I remember. So it was like 2 entrances. So we went through the side entrance. They closed it because apparently it was dangerous.
And which primary school is it?
This is Thelma Gibson.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had to go like the main entrance by the main road. And so they also told us that we couldn't go to the store because I don't know, we just couldn't go to the store. I don't know why. They told us we couldn't go to the store, but we couldn't go.
Right.
But me being me, I said, I'm gonna go to the store because we buy marbles every day. I'm gonna buy some marbles and I'm gonna like sell these marbles for like a crazy amount of money. So I used to do that every day. And my sister noticed I used to make a lot of money. So I used to come home with like $20 and $30. And so
In primary school.
right?
Yeah.
And so my sister, she went ahead and she bought some marbles. I was like, here, come jump on this pound.
Oh, lies.
Until
Young family business.
She stole all my clients.
Wow.
Because they were like, oh, Rico, why buying your guppy for 75
Oh, she
cents?
undercut
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yes, when Rico selling hers for 50 cents. I was like, yo, really? But even then, it was just like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't like asking people for stuff. I never liked asking my parents for money, even then. So it was like, I'm going to work for it regardless. But yeah, I mean, to be different, you have to do different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just have to like discover like what is your purpose. And people make it seem like so like grand and like so hard to do. Like once you find your purpose, like you discover like, no. Honestly, do what you like to do. Do things that excite you. Do things that make you happy. Do
Right.
things that, you know, say who you are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then in that, you find out what it is that you really like to do. Like me, I like helping people. So I remember, like, as I do like the cooking classes every summer, and I was telling someone, I was like, I want to do this for like a living. Like this is what I love to do. Like I enjoy doing this. And they told me like, you know, like don't like the whole saying with do what you love and the money will follow. That ain't true. I am here to say it is very true.
Why you say that?
Because then it's like it goes beyond the money. My whole thing is I don't want to be poor, mind you, but
Yeah.
I rather be like well off and happy than to be like super rich and not happy. Because you
Right.
could have all the money in the world, you could have all these things and still not be happy. I want to
True
feel
that.
satisfied with my life. You know, I want to be able to say, okay, I touched this person, I touched that person, and you know, they were able to like be something because of something I said or something that I gave to them, you know? So it's not, my whole thing is just like being able to inspire people. So once I inspire you, I feel like, you know, job well done. And that's it. And so, you know, honestly, that's like with money. Currency, it goes up and down. So it's like you could have $1 million in the bank today. Let's
Yeah.
say something happens with the Bahamas, right? $1 million Bahamian dollars. That could be worth like what, $2 American tomorrow,
Right.
like in
Yeah.
the world we're living in today. But
I
if you
just
have
gonna
like
say the royal right now, really.
exactly, you know, you never know. So it's like if you have influence, it's like that in itself. You could go anywhere in the world with influence
Yeah.
and you know,
Right.
be valuable, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I always say, like, you know, knowledge is power and connections is powerful. Like, was your net worth? Well, your network will determine your net worth. So it's like, you know, you can't put a price on who I connected to and what I got in my head or whatever, and what my abilities are. Because it could always transition. Like, okay, for instance, like I could go anywhere in the world and be, okay, I'm a filmmaker by trade. I could go anywhere and be that.
Yeah.
Or I could go in any world and do the different other caveats that I do. Or you could go in any world and model and cook. Like, you know, once you got those different skills, it's like, okay, you focus less on the money and you focus more on trying to, I feel like when you put push like positivity in the universe, you can get it back.
Fox. It's like what they call it, the law of attraction.
Yeah, the law of
Yes.
attraction.
It was, I believe in that. I do like manifestation. So I be like, what I want in life, I will say it. Like I say it every morning. I'm like, I am great. I am successful.
Yeah.
It actually works, I feel. But you got to put in the work too. You know, you gotta
Yeah.
put in
Most
the work.
definitely.
You got to put in the work.
Most definitely.
And I don't think people want to put in the work. Like, okay, it's like, again, you being only 20. I would imagine that to be proficient at what you do, you put in a lot of hours to master your craft.
Yeah.
And whether that being, you know, even when it came to something new as it pertains to your modeling career, like I would assume that you put in a lot of extra hours to sort of try to close the gap to where you are and where you need it to be.
True.
And so, like, you know, what you say, you know, you having a strong work ethic, as well as, you know, growing up, being around people that, like, you know, have their own businesses and always coming up with new ideas and not just trying to be this one thing.
Yeah.
Did that, like, heavily influence you to, like, from young, to be like, all right, I know what I want to do and this is how I'm going to go about it?
When, I don't even know. When I was younger, I have this thing. Listen, I was head over heels for Jesus. Okay,
Okay.
I still love God, but Biden's that was Lord. Anyway, so I remember I was watching this this video. I think it was with Sydney Trim, and she said, "Stop asking God for, like, you know, when you pray, stop asking God for, like, let's say your rent due next week and you need $500 for your rent. Be like,
Yeah.
oh God, I need $500. No, ask for $1 million idea. Like, ask for idea that you'd be able to afford a building that
Yeah.
would have to rent from you. You know, that
right.
you could get Lord, what's the words? The people who I am a tenant.
Yeah, you're a tenant, yeah.
So now you'd have tenants. So that's how I switch my prayer. And so, like, once you switch your language, you know what I'm saying? Because life in that, the power of the tongue, manifestations, word of power, words of
Right.
meaning, words of, like, no geographical limitation. So that's why people have to be careful what you say about other people. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing was like, okay, God, just give me the ideas that will, you know, carry me to where it is that you would have me to be. And so I remember literally, I went to sleep that night and I woke up and I was like, it makes sense to have a coach, like a culinary coach. Because,
Yeah.
like, you have a swimming coach, you have an acting coach, you have, like, a singing coach, right? And at that time, I didn't even see the need for, like, a singing coach. But I was like, I mean, if you got a singing coach,
Right.
I got a cooking coach. So, make a very long story short, once again, I went to my grandfather who works at Bohemian Club. And I was like, I need you to set me up with, like, one of the chefs. And he found a chef. The chef was giving him, like, the runaround. So he ended up going to the chef's boss because I was stressing him out. And because I was stressing him out, he was like, Lord, I just need to get this boy off my hands. So he went to the chef's boss, and the chef's boss was like, don't worry about it because I'll coach him, right? So that happened. And my whole thing is like, my whole life at this point, I feel, is like a series of, like, what I call, like, stupid questions. You know, people be like, oh, that's a stupid question to ask. You know that wouldn't happen. So it's like, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Like, they say no. And, like,
Yeah.
they ain't gonna beat me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you could do what you want to do. Like, ask the questions. You'd be surprised at the answer. And then even that, it's just like, never limit yourself. Because it's like, I feel like sometimes people be like, oh, because I'm a certain age, I can't do a particular thing. And then another thing is, because I'm a certain age, I am, like, told that, okay, I'm supposed to enjoy my 20s. Not saying I'm not enjoying it, because I am. It's like, they say, you know, you have time.
Right.
You have time. I agree, we do have time. But I mean, you're here today, gone tomorrow. Live a life like, I mean, live the life you want to live. Live the life you deserve. Because my whole thing is like, when I reach 30, I don't want to be that person saying, okay, let me finally start, like, getting myself together.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like young creatives like us. Like, we doing our things. We young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, once you don't even have to be the best at what you do. Literally, you do not have to be the best at what you do. You just got to keep on doing it. They have a saying, like, you have to work 10,000 hours to be
Yes,
such a craft or
10 to
something.
7 years to be a master.
Exactly.
So
Listen,
that 10,000 hours.
imagine this at a radio,
Yeah.
and you continuously doing it. So when you have a studio, and after that, who knows, you might have a whole TV network.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, just keep on going, because when people see you and when people, like, see what you're doing, people like to be a part of something and things that, you know, have an
momentum.
impact. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, another thing is, like, people don't like when, like, you know, like, the come up. No one
Yeah.
really supports you during the come up, but
Nah,
the applause is
When
going to
you-
be,
right.
you know,
When you
and
reach the
so-
goal.
Exactly. And I feel like people like there's like this notion of, oh, you have to support me during the come up. Honestly, it's like
Nah.
if I see an abandoned house, but I live inside a house that I'm comfortable in, and I see you're trying to like fix up this abandoned house, I'm gonna wait till you fix up the abandoned house to say, okay, let me see how much it is to live inside this house.
Right.
Now. I have to see the finished product. Let me like
Yeah.
show me what I'm supporting.
Right.
You know? And so even then it's like, I don't know, people just like to support good things. I don't know.
Yeah, they like to see something proven.
Yeah.
But just getting a good conversation. But we about to take a short break. We'll be back more with Mr. Rico Neely, the Renaissance man. And we like to be Renaissance on this show, you know? But we're going to be back.
Hi, this is your favorite zaddy, Lord Jalen Willard from Erryting Kool, and this episode is sponsored by nobody. If you would like to sponsor an episode of Erryting Kool, feel free to email us at theoriginalpeoplenetwork@gmail.com, or you can slide in our DMs on Instagram at The Original People Network, or on Facebook, The Original People Network. Now back to your scheduled programming.
All right. And we're back with on Erryting Kool with Mr. Neely, a very interesting person. One of the things I really agree. I agree with totally everything what he was saying. Like, you know, I just made a post about that on my Instagram recently. Like, when you starting up the support, be like one person in the stands, but the congratulations be a stadium full.
But even then, I feel like it's like quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Let's use Buddy Hield, for instance. It's like when Buddy Hield got drafted into the NBA, like Americans were like confused. It's like, okay, how do you have this much fans this quick?
Right.
Like, if you have a
Yeah.
small group, not even, let me just finish that example first. It's like, you have like a small group of people compared to like, let's say LeBron, who has like millions of fans.
Yeah.
Like Bohemians, we're like naturally loud and like we're very supportive. So it's like we can support our people.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like this small group of people, we sound louder and it seems as though we are more than, you know, the millions of other people.
Yeah.
Even at a graduation, it's like
Yeah.
when I was graduating, my mother alone is like 100 people. So it's like you might have a whole section just for you because everyone
Yeah.
supports you. But it might be my mother, my father, and probably like 3 other relatives. And
Yeah.
like because they're louder than everyone else, it's like we pay more attention to
Right.
me and you know
Yeah.
and them
Yeah.
over like the other person. So it's like
Yeah.
honestly, I rather have like 5 fans who like are diehard support
Yeah.
me than to
Right.
have like all these different people. Because even then
Like
it's
who
like,
flaky.
exactly because
Right.
when I host an event, I want to make sure like okay, I have a guaranteed 5 people versus like I get all these people like I have
Who may
like,
not come.
exactly
Yeah,
like you have 1,000 followers on Instagram, and then when you make a post, you got to worry about like I wonder if I even get like 10 likes.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Serious thing.
Yeah, but that's also like, you know, bringing up. I let you bring up Buddy Hield, and I can get into him after I make this point. But it's like knowing who's your core and your core audience, your base, and always appealing to the base. Because I was explaining this to someone the other day, like, okay, you know who's your core audience and your base. Why you gonna go after the flaky casual fan? Like, keep on pushing to your base. Now, if you get a new people come on, make them be more consistent in supporting you, but you always
Right.
go straight to the base
Right.
or whatever. Because that's who had you from day one or whatever. And like you casually grow a cult following and they keep on coming to support you. Then you go with that. But to Buddy Hield's point, I think, like, you know, I always say this, like DeAndre Ayton was drafted #1 and may end up being a far superior player. But Bahamians are always going to love Buddy and will kill for him or whatever.
Facts.
Because for the mere fact that he was doing greatness and every time they put a mic in his face, he's saying 242 the world.
Talk. That's all they
And
wanna
then,
hear.
and then to the point where the announcers was like, the Bahamian bomber, and like, you know, to where when he get drafted, because I was on Twitter, you can't, like, to this day, you can't say nothing bad about that, man.
Yeah.
For us,
Facts.
you can't say nothing bad about him, because it's like, wait, that's ours. We claim that. He claimed us. Even when he was doing the lives during the quarantine,
Yep.
Yeah.
and like, you know,
Like the talent shows too.
yeah, the talent
yeah,
shows or whatever, like, you know, because he was like, he even had some famous, he was like, but if it wasn't for this NBA, I'd tell you about you. So it's like, like, you know, so you support that because he know, okay, the way this my base,
Real.
or whatever. Yeah, hi, Buddy Hield, NBA player, but it's like, these the people I could put them on my back or
Right.
whatever. I can represent, and they gonna be there for me. And it's like, I can keep on trying to be better than me or whatever. I ain't gonna worry about who's supporting me or if pundits on ESPN say I'm a lower version to Steph Curry, or comparing me to Trae Young and Steph Curry, saying if Trae Young if he gonna reach his max potential, he gonna be Steph Curry, but if he doesn't, he can be Buddy Hield or whatever. So not minding that, but just continuing your craft and making doing what you got to do. And if people undermine you, still keep on pressing on.
Okay, I have 2 points, right? 2 things to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I feel like, because, I feel bad for even saying this. The Bahamian girl that's on the WNBA, I think her name is
Jonquel.
Jonquel.
Yes,
Jonquel
she's not as
Jones.
popular as Buddy Hield, but this is what I think. I feel as though people support Buddy for the mainly because it's like, okay, let me speak for me. Growing up, it's like I always looked outside of the country, and I saw other people, and that's what I valued success as. Is okay when you go to America, and you have all these people like screaming and doing all that extra stuff for you. That's what I valued success as when I was younger, and even you have Bahamian stars and stuff like that. I didn't really. They were like,
You didn't really connect with them.
I didn't connect with them, and even then, it wasn't like they didn't have they didn't entertain me. Like their life didn't really entertain me. It's like their personal life didn't seem interesting to me. But I feel like even then, it's like, let's use Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's like in the Bahamas, it's like, okay, if I go there, I'm gonna take a picture, and then my friends could feel it. Like they'd be like, yo, I wish I was there. I wish I saw it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's the fantasy of it all. So now here it is, we're living the fantasy because everyone wants to be in the NBA. Now Buddy Hield is in the NBA. He's like he's literally living the dream most Bahamians want to live, but they feel like it cannot happen. So now it's like, we're actually seeing the Bahamas in a place whereas it's like, I no longer have to look outside the country for someone I want to be like, because he was in Freeport, he went to my school.
Right.
I know his Grammy. I know his mommy.
And then his experience with shooting on crates, it's like
Exactly. I relate.
I relate. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the same stories. Like, if he could do it, I could do it too.
Right.
Definitely.
And then another thing is like, what I actually don't like is like when people like compare you. So they'd be like, oh, this like people be like, oh, this is the next Bobby Flay. Or like this is the next Steph Curry. Like if he's the maddest Moxie, be Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Honestly, my whole thing is like you cannot compare one person to the next because everyone's journey is like completely different.
Right.
So like Steph Curry is Steph Curry because Steph Curry is Steph Curry.
Right.
Buddy Hield is Buddy Hield because Buddy Hield is Buddy Hield. Like once he continues doing what he doing, like be the best version of yourself because even then it's just like, let me see. When I was younger, I was like, I used to idolize. I think it's Chef Masahiro Morimoto because I used to watch Iron Chef on the Food Network.
Right.
And so I was like, I want to be just like him. Until I catch myself, I was like, what if me saying I want to be just like him might limit me? What if my purpose and my destiny in life is supposed to be bigger than him?
Right.
Yeah.
But yet I limited myself once again with my words and saying, okay, I want to be just like him. I want to be as successful as him. I don't, or people being like, oh, this is like, he came under the reins of Bobby Flay, or this is the next Bobby Flay. No, I want people to say, oh, this is the next Rico. This is the next. No, I want people to say, no, we never saw anything like this before. Right. And that's what Buddy Hield is to the Bahamas. So that's what I feel like everyone should aspire to be. Like, don't try to limit yourself saying, I want to be like someone else. Be yourself.
Real.
Yeah.
Real.
That's interesting. So let's transition to you actually becoming a publisher and writing. Yeah. You say you wrote your first book during the COVID?
No, actually, it's like a collection of poetry over the course of 4 years.
Okay. So let's get into that.
All right. So the book is entitled F Love and Give Me Hate.
Hold on, what?
Yeah. All right. So let me explain.
Run that back.
Discussion within itself. From the title, judge a book by its cover. Let's hear this.
All right, so, okay, my book is entitled F Love and Give Me Hate. The reason why I named it that, I actually read another book called Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison.
Okay.
And it's a portion inside the book. It was this guy, he was supposed to pay his rent, but he was like on the top of this building, and he was in his feelings because none of the women in the town like found him attractive, and he was like, and he was crying out to God. He's like, oh God, give me hate, Lord. And he said, if love killed Jesus, what you think it could do to me? You know what I'm saying? And like that stuck with me. And I was like, I know what I'm gonna read. I don't know what it was. I say, F11, give me 8. I wrote it down in my journal. I'm like, okay, something is going to help this name. I don't care what it is. Something's going to help this name. And so I said, you know what? I was like doing nothing. And I was just like in my apartment. I was like, I have to do something because like I just have to do something. And I'm like, oh, let me just publish a book because I always wanted to publish it in the past. And everyone was like, you know, if you self-publish, it's like shooting yourself in the foot. And you shouldn't do it. You should go the traditional way, which I went the traditional way originally. And I was greeted with like rejection letter. But it's like, I know I have good work. Okay. And so my whole thing is I had to sit down and realize that, guess what? Okay, yeah, they might tell me no the traditional way, but guess what? I'm going to make it happen regardless. And then me being me, I want to be able to, you know, inspire young behemoths, people just like me. So it's like, let me do it so other people could say, okay, I could do it too. Because everyone wants to write a book. Yeah. But then in the back of your head, it's like, okay, I say it, but I feel like it probably won't happen because no one knows really the steps. So like, I was like, you know what? Let me go on YouTube. I went on YouTube and I figured out how to publish a book. I figured out like which way is the best options. I was like, okay, Amazon works best for me. So I went on Amazon, I did it. But back to the book, explaining the book. F-Love and Give Me Hate really is paying homage to like everything that I went through in life over the course of 4 years. My first year in like my first semester in school, my grandmother died. My uncle died, and then my aunt died. This is like weeks in between each other. Wow. I was like, what? I was like, what is happening, right? Yeah. So I was in one of my classes, and we had to like keep a journal. Yeah. So I found like, you know, writing poetry was like the easiest thing for me to do. And when all these things were happening, plus I was in like a very toxic relationship. So I was like, when I like write about all these different things, I'd feel better. And you know, I wouldn't have to like talk to people. Like people wouldn't have to know my business because I'm a very private person. So it's like, all right, I feel good. And like, that sounds good on paper, you know? Yeah. And so it's really just paying homage to everything I went through, like love situations, death situations, life-threatening situations, my accomplishments even. Because I feel like had it not been for all these, I guess, bad things, I would never have been able to like, you know, be able to like learn what I learned and like discover all these different things. Because it's like, if your life is going like really well, like you're just comfortable. Like you don't learn nothing. You have to go through something. You have to go through the fire to like understand what it is to come out on the next side. You know, you come out a different person. It's even like, let me use like a coffee bean. I feel like I'm preaching low key. So it's like a coffee bean. Go ahead, bro. So it's like a coffee bean. Like in order for like the coffee bean to like, let's look at the most expensive coffee in the world, right? They have to go through a process. So they crush it up. Animals literally eat it. So you have to like get like people gotta eat you, dog. And like you go through like the acid, you go through all that, and then you have to like come out as feces, and it's like the most like expensive coffee bean in the world. You know, same rules apply. It's like you have to go through some things. You have to like sacrifice some stuff. You have to like feel the burn. It's like exercising. You gotta feel the burn. Yeah. If you don't feel the burn, what you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Doing nothing.
Exactly. So this book really just paying homage to all of that. Just saying like, thank you. Thank you for, you know, all the heartbreak. Thank you for, you know, the deaths. Thank you for every single thing that happened to me, because had it not been for that, this book would not happen. You know, me speaking the way I speak now is like would not happen. It's like, it's just a big thank you note, honestly, in my opinion. And then another thing is like in the Caribbean, well, in the Bahamas too, but mainly in the Bahamas, it's like we're told that, you know, men aren't really supposed to be emotional. Right. You know, because I remember when I was younger, even with my younger like cousins, I'd be like, soldiers don't cry. Right. So it's like, you know, you gotta suck that up. Right. And so now it's like coming into New York, you experience life from a different perspective. So you see things different. So I give New York some credit for that. So it's like, I don't know, it's like you could be your man and still like express yourself. Because then I feel like a lot of things happen, like you have a lot of mental issues, right? Yeah. A lot of these things come about because like you have like built up anger, you have built up pain.
And
like,
a lot of repressed thoughts.
Exactly. Right. So it's like, you know, just, you don't have to like publish a book. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to but it's like do things that are healthy. You know what I'm saying? Are like better for you. And that's this book, honestly.
That's a mouthful. Right. Really? Yeah, I contemplating now if I should use that title for this episode.
But I think what you did really well was you transmuted all the negative energy into positive.
Yeah. Right. You got to release.
Yeah, you made it work for your benefit. A lot of people, they tend to sit with that negativity and they don't really have an outlet for it. So how did you? Because like you said, the class you were in made you collect your thoughts in a journal. So for someone else who isn't forced or mandated to have that kind of outlet, how would you guide them in having that outlet?
Honestly, it's like you just gotta. For me, I like trying new things. So like when I was in the class, I was like, okay, I normally like write short stories, like that's my thing. And so I was like, let me do something new. Poetry kind of challenged me when I first started writing it, so that's why I was like into it until it was, anyways. So it challenged me. But for someone else, I feel like it depends on the person really. So it's like you have to figure out what it is that you like. So like if you like music, like just you literally don't have to publish anything. You don't have to record anything. It's like just figure out something, you know, even if it's just like, I have problems in the home and I got to figure out a way to release all of that. But I also like to help people. How about let me use my experience and figure out something where I'm going to get some people over and I'm going to help you go through whatever it is that you're going through because I'm going through the same thing. Because in the process, it's like you're helping me, I'm helping you, like one hand washes the other. But it's like, honestly, you just have to like discover yourself and like be like without boundaries, honestly, because I feel like people will say, oh, I can't do that because we don't do that in the Bahamas. Even like with my cooking class, my sister is the reason why I'm doing my cooking class to this day because I got denied from Bahama, right? Because I was leaving, I only needed the job for the month, right? But I didn't bring my resume, so they pulled up my thing on their little tablet situation, and they found I was going back to school that January, which is like the end of the month. And they were like, oh, we don't have no temp positions. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went home and I was like salty. I was so salty. And I was like, yo, I need a job. I have to work. Like, I have to do something. Like, I don't feel like myself if I'm not doing anything. And my sister looked at me, she said, you so stupid. I said, what happened? I said, what happened? Mind you, she went to Mexico, like, because she does, she speaks Spanish. Okay. So she went to Mexico and she was living with this family. She was teaching Mexicans how to speak English, like these grandchildren. And so she was like with the host family she was with, they had like the chef who would like come over and teach like the youngest two boys there how to cook. And she's like, quite honestly, the food really, it wasn't all that. And she's like, Rico, you could cook. You have like all these things under your belt already. Why you just don't do that? Like ain't nothing like that in the Bahamas. So I was like, I bet. You know what? Do the flyer and then we could go from there. But before that, I was like, Bahamians ain't on that run. Like, Bahamians ain't into that. You know, that's what I was saying. And so she was like, Rico, stop being stupid. So I said, okay, do the flyer and I can support you. And even then, it's just like, that initial like post, because I sent it to everyone on my Snapchat list and I posted on Instagram and Facebook. It was like, that was like a leap of faith because it was like, what are people going to think about me? Like, what is going to come out of it? Like, what if it's a flop? And like all these things coming through my head. And I was like, you know what, let me do it because we came up with that idea that Wednesday, that Monday, we were having the class. And so we had it at my grandmother's house, right? Yeah. So we also have a non-for-profit. Okay. The Queen Esther Foundation. My grandmother passed away. So we had it in her kitchen because like literally no one was using the house. So I was like, okay, just air out the house, make it smell like people live here. And like, let's bring life back in the house, you know? And so the kitchen only could hold like 12 people. Listen, on that Sunday, not even that Saturday, we only had like 5 people registered for the class, and my nerves were on me. I was like, "Yo, we gotta have a full class. Now, this has to be perfect." And so by Monday morning, because like people were like registering like last minute, Monday morning we had like a full class, and I was like, "Yo, this is lit." And I don't know, even then it's just like that satisfying feeling, and it's like, okay, this is what I want to do. That's how I figured out what I wanted to do. So it's like doing things that scare you. If it doesn't scare you, then it's just like, all right, it really doesn't make that much of an impact. Even like this interview, like early this morning, I was like driving there with my sister. I was like, I feel weird. It's like, why am I really doing this? Like, I do like, how are people gonna feel? Like, what are people thinking about me saying, okay, he gonna do an interview? Like, who does he think? Like, who is this guy? Like, who do you think you are? And so it was like, you know what? Because it scared me, it was like, all right, I feel like it's the right thing to do. You know? Because like, what's the worst that could happen? Right. Yeah. More people know about me. You know?
Exactly.
It's like I use the platform. It's like more people know about me. More people know about you. It's like a whole networking situation going on right now.
Exactly. One shot.
So yeah, so once you just do the things that scare you and just challenge yourself always.
I mean, I think the only thing people could say is, "Oh, I see you on Erryting Kool."
Real talk.
Right.
I don't, whatever perception they have of our platform, which
Yeah.
it is.
They'd have it either way.
It's either way, and it's
Really.
like it'll probably be predicated on whatever I do, and it's like, bro, we are part of the culture. So,
Sidetrack 1 second. We were
Yeah.
talking about the other day this guy named Prince Donnell. I look him up. I was actually following him already,
yeah.
and I don't know if you want to interject the conversation. So
Okay, like we can bring that to you, and then we can hop into the Queen Esther Foundation,
Right.
right? So me and Marco was taught. Well, this point was brought up by another friend a couple nights ago. Me and him had this conversation yesterday. Okay, this Instagrammer, he made a post talking about his barber, and he was saying like, man, my barber like playing around, like he acting busy, da 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 da. So he might have been tongue and cheek. I don't know his intention yet, but he didn't tag his barber.
Yeah.
And people was underneath the comment section, oh, why you don't tag the barber, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, yo, like ain't nobody get a free promo of my page or whatever. Like, to me, some people feel like, and people was like, you got to support your barber and da 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 da. You already talking about him and this and that and that. To me, in my eyes, I'm like, I don't see no problem with him saying, yo, you got to pay me for promo on my page because I built my brand. I got 500,000 followers.
Yeah.
Now, if someone else would say, if he would say, okay, let me just tag my barber. I mean, in the post is a tongue in cheek, like you saw the shade in your barber. So I understand out of respect, I ain't gonna tag him to be like, yo, like, I trying to like disrespect you or whatever. So I ain't gonna like, put you out there to show you, but like, that whole situation can be interpreted in multiple ways. Yeah. So as it pertains to support, like, what do you think about that?
All right. Honestly, I feel like when you know like the power that you have, like the influence, because like influence is power, it's like for some it depends. It really depends on like a person-to-person basis. So it's like someone else might say, okay, it ain't that big a deal. You might barber anyway. Let me just give you a shout out. Versus someone else, it's like, all right, you have to go through a process to even be this influential. So it's like, I'm not just going to like, I understand you might barb. I still paying you to cut my hair.
Right.
Pay me
That's
to
the thing.
do this. I might give you like a little discount, but we ain't giving no free handouts. But it's like, I feel like there's no right or wrong answer or no right or wrong way to feel about it. Because it's like, once again, it's like on a person-to-person basis. So it's like, it depends on who that person is, you know? So it's like, let's say that person just like, I bought my business and I bought my money, and it's like, all right, even like, let's use them for instance. Let's say their mother even pays for a promo. You think I can give my barber if my mommy gotta pay for it?
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it is based off of like whatever like principles they believe, But what y'all feel? What y'all think?
I just wanted to extend that from what you were talking about earlier with, I guess, your racing thoughts about how you were going to be perceived based on how other people might perceive you.
Yeah.
It's just everybody have their own opinion, and a lot of times it wouldn't even concern them particularly. Like what you do with your life, with this podcast, with your cooking classes, etc., is you. It's like centered around you. Yeah. You don't ask nobody for anything, like you said earlier, and you don't really, care what they have to say. But at the end of the day, they have their opinion, and they want to project their opinions onto you. Yeah. So it's like, it can happen either way. So your track is your track, and once you have your blinders on, you good.
Fox, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I just was like, like it could go either way. I understand both sides of the equation. I mean, personally for me, I guess how we select people to come on the show is like, I just do it off a basis of, does it make sense? Is this going to be a somewhat entertaining conversation or something unique? And it's like, all right, so I get it, but it's like, to me, I think we need to support the people that are doing extraordinary things. I never feel like, if I showcase this person, I gonna get this backlash, or if I try to get exposure about this sect, like it's like everybody has their own opinion, and I just don't really care what nobody gotta say.
Real subjective.
Or whatever, like
real subjective.
like it's like I to a point in my life where I could care less. I focus on doing the work or whatever. Like I focus on, because like my mission is noble or whatever. I'm just trying to connect everything and put out information out for however you want to take it.
Yeah.
You receive it how you want to receive it, but I'm just a messenger.
Right.
Right.
Even then, it's like, if ain't no one talking, it's like, I mean, it's like if no one is talking about, like, even if it's like negative or like positive, it's like, what are you really doing? That means it's like, it isn't making an impact. Even like that Bohemian song is like, dog don't bark at bark up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
definitely.
yo, if all us like on the same level, it's like, I don't look at you any different than I look at myself. Like, if all us on the same level, you know what I'm saying? And all us doing the exact same thing, we work in the exact same place, literally doing the exact same thing. I don't see you as a threat. I don't see you as an inspiration. I just see you as like a regular person. But when you actually doing stuff, you know, it's like, I see you different. So that's when like the dogs start barking, people start talking.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what, like, give the people, like, let me show you something. If you could talk about me, you may as well talk about something good. So let me give you something to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Give them something to talk about.
So-
And that's like 6'9".
All right.
Listen, that's like 6'9". 6'9", yo, like, he is a genius, I feel, right?
To a certain
Now,
degree.
right?
A marketing genius.
A marketing
Yes,
genius.
he's a marketing
Yeah.
genius because now it's like people are interested. It's entertainment.
Right.
People
Yeah.
want to be entertained.
Right.
You know, I understand like the whole thing is like, you know, you can't be snitching in the game, all of that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, he didn't come up in that era. You know, he's not that type of rapper. He don't believe that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And even then, you're not. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, what benefits you? You have to be selfish to a certain degree.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
So it's like, he's like using his influence and using his power to do what I guess makes him happy. Like he's doing what he wants to do. Like
Yeah.
he's being his own individual. He's not letting people say, okay, this is how you're supposed to be. Because
Yeah.
once again, dogs don't bark up, bark out.
Right.
If everyone doing the same, that's why people talking about him. That's why he could post a
Exactly.
video and 5 hours later, it's like millions
Get
of
them-
views.
Right.
You know? It's like,
Exactly. I was just gonna say, because even if when people talking bad about you when you doing good, you still getting the numbers anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you still getting the relevance. So
Exactly.
it's just like still, like you say, might as well do good. People could talk bad and good about it, but you still getting that, you know, that fame
Bugs.
and all that buzz. So
Bro, Gooba has 421 million views.
wow.
real.
Even then, another person, a Bahamian, would be Lil Davy.
Yeah, Lil
Yeah,
Davy.
yeah.
Let me tell you.
I was gonna bring it up.
I feel like I don't, to this day, I do not know the entire song. The only line I know from that song is
Squeeze
like,
up your breast.
not even that is the one where she's like, I think like, walk like a dog, crawl like a crab. That's the only line I know from that entire song.
Well, you looking at the
Crazy.
biggest Lil Davy.
Oh, yeah.
To your left.
Oh Lord.
Yo. But honestly, I feel like,
Yo, she make it.
But
This
still-
like the third or fourth episode we brought up.
real.
exactly.
Yeah, like the
Because
Still gotta. She's
people
doing her
talking.
thing. Right?
Oh, man.
People still talking.
And I
so-
respect it though because she doing
Right.
her thing. Like, yo,
Oh, man.
even the other day,
Still do your
when
thing.
she was like I saw a video with her in a strip club doing like this performance, but like no
Yeah.
one really was on a run. Like I feel like it went viral because no one was on a run, but it's like, I mean, no one was on your run inside the club. But,
Right.
like more people who saw the performance than
Right.
who was actually in the club. Even
yeah.
then, it's like Kanye West. I don't necessarily like it, like the earlier Kanye West. His songs are like, you know, like sometimes you got to listen to the song like 10 times, and on the 11th time, it's like, okay, it's a little catchy.
Right.
His with her song is like, I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, at least what everyone's saying is bad. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
can't really speak on that.
Yeah, I don't
But it's
like
like,
it.
I mean, it ain't really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
she
it's
got a little production
when you
quality
listen,
in it,
but
right?
when you listen to it
Production
more and more, it's
quality.
like,
Yeah.
all right, that's a
A
banger. So, right?
No, like it's just super catchy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Quality.
Right? So if you play that in the club right now, people going crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we saying it
No,
don't sound good.
No, this is like right.
I'm not
I
going
was
crazy.
telling Mark.
I'm not
I was
going
telling.
crazy.
I was telling Marco. I was like before it really started bubbling up, like probably like 2 months ago. I was like, bro, watch when things open up. You're gonna see people getting on their budget.
Real dog.
And he's
Real
like,
dog.
no, bro, no, bro. I said,
Hypocrites.
I was like, watch. Then all you see, these last 3 weeks, boom, like you
Right
see
there,
people
fire,
go.
right? All type people.
But then again, that's entertainment though.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
like,
exactly
it's
what
like-
I mean. Right.
Let's use
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj. Let's bring up 6ix9ine again. It's like when Nicki Minaj did the song with 6ix9ine because now it's like, all right, they try to
Fifi?
blackball him.
No, not Fifi.
No, that one.
The
the new one.
The
Yeah.
last one.
Okay,
What I
okay.
call
With all the colors in it, eh?
Trolls. Trolls. That's the
Trolls,
name of the
yeah.
song. So it's like even then, like she got like a lot of backlash from it, but it's like. What was I saying? Okay, so basically, it's like, let's use Nicki Minaj, for instance. So it's like, she got a lot of backlash from it. But even then, it's just like, I'm sorry, I forget what I was even saying.
But before you get into that, let's take
Yeah,
a next
let's
quick,
give you
take
a
little
second
break.
to
And then
recalibrate.
we could come right back after these messages.
Hi, this is your favorite zaddy, Lord Jalen Willard from Erryting Kool, and this episode is sponsored by Nobody. If you would like to sponsor an episode of Erryting Kool, feel free to email us at theoriginalpeoplenetwork@gmail.com, or you can slide in our DMs on Instagram at The Original People Network or on Facebook, The Original People Network. Now back to your scheduled programming.
Alright, we could cut
Yeah,
this
cut
part.
that.
We can cut this part. You can start over.
All right,
Let me
I-
reword that.
we're back from the break. This man keeps on getting more interesting by the second. But before he gets into what he's saying, let me show him this video. Hold on.
This big.
Do the dance. Let's go. Do the dance.
Mob ties.
Oh yeah. Bust the manja dance. Oh yeah. Oh. Live on the podcast.
But yeah, I could probably show that the clip somewhere around there.
Right.
But he was getting into fun fact about Mr. Neely. We just learned that my boy got real mob ties. He work with who you work with?
Oh, I work with Carol Mirage. That's Nicki Minaj's mother.
Nicki Minaj's
Mother.
Fam, we coming to New York, bro.
Lord. But the thing is, she has a non-for-profit called the Carol Mirage Foundation, which basically like advocates for battered women and stuff like that. So I actually cooked for that event. That was back in December. So yes, I cooked for that event. It was at the Anchor House in New York. And then, so it was that. And then she had like a wig party. I ended up going to that. And then
You had to wear a wig.
no, because like anyways, I had to go to that party, and so what happened is it was actually at a house, and so what happened is basically they already had like all the food, but it was like the chicken wasn't done, like the chicken wasn't cooked, and so it was like, oh, we have a chef in like the living room, so it's like, oh, Rico, come on, we need you to do something. So I'm like, all right, best. So now I'm like in their pantry, I'm like cooking it, and I did my thing. And that was that, and so
Yeah, it's pretty clutch,
That's
bro.
dope.
Hey, I heard the doc. Is there a doctor in the house? He's like, hey, a chef in the house?
Right.
Is there a chef in the
Facts.
house?
Oh man. But that's
But one second, bro. That's
Right.
that's also when you talk about all the miracles and you like
Real
harken
talk.
back to stuff like
Yeah.
that. You get healed in like
That's just
30
what happened.
seconds. But
yeah.
somebody had to mess up for you to come in clutch and do what you do, bro. So
Real.
that's pretty fire.
right. So that was like honestly, my whole thing is like, I don't know who is it who said this. I don't know who said it. It might have been Oprah. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but someone said these were just like, you have to like. Nothing happens by coincidence, right? You have to like prepare yourself for certain moments. So let's
Exactly.
say I never really took like cooking seriously, and it's like, I mean, chicken is like a really basic thing to make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like even that. So it's like, I don't know. It's like had I not like had like all the experience, had I not did my 10,000 hours,
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
become
I
a
wouldn't have
master.
been. I probably wouldn't even been in that house, quite honestly.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, so it's like you have to put in the work. You got to put in the work. And by me putting in the work, I'm able to like say, oh, I actually cooked for her event. I'm able to say I was actually at her house.
Man, we with a celebrity chef, man. Yeah.
Technically, you're
Like
a
you could
celebrity chef,
literally
right?
say, yeah, fam, I do this. And people like just off hearing the name, people like, okay, you hired.
Right.
Real.
Because people feel like by touching you, they touching them.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
True, I guess.
But let's get into this is your mother's nonprofit, the Queen Esther Foundation?
No, that's my non-for-profit.
Okay,
That's
your
straight
non-for-profit. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get into that.
So basically, the Queen Esther Foundation, it came about in 2017. Yes, in 2017, my grandmother passed away in 2016. And in 2017, what happened
That's
is...
crazy, bro. It's my grandmother passed the same year.
Oh, yeah?
Like summer 2016.
Rest in peace to all the
Like, you know,
ones out there.
All right, so like with me, okay, so to go back to the Bahama story, and then we did like the initial Cooking with Noxie session, which was called Sweet Tooth. We didn't even name it Cooking with Noxie, but I was like, yo, we gotta name this Cooking with Noxie, and my sister was like, no, that's not what we're doing. We're gonna name it Sweet Tooth. The next one is gonna be Cooking with Noxie. So it's a pilot event for the foundation.
Okay.
And then in that February is when we like, okay, this is the official thing. We created a page. And then in August, we did like an official launch for Cooking with Noxie and the Queen Esther Foundation. And so basically the Queen Esther Foundation, we aim to like promote, youth entrepreneurship. And so it's like, we want to be like that metaphoric bridge. Like, so let's say you want to act and we have a network whereas like, okay, I know actors who like you can actually see on TV. You know what I'm saying? I know people like, you know people who like in certain circles. I'm going to connect you because now it's like, I understand that even with me, it's like my coach, Chef Rosemary, she's a Kasika Award winner. Like this, she was like running every kitchen in Atlantis. Like she's a beast. And even then it's like, I was working with like a lot of other chefs. Like honestly, a lot of people can't say what I could say.
Right.
And that I am very blessed to say it and very humble to say it too. And it's like, I wanted to, some people just don't have the opportunity. I want to provide that opportunity. So it's like, let me use my platform, let me use my network and help other people, you know? Because you never know. It's like, I want to create the opportunities I needed when I was younger. Or I wanted to be there when I was younger. So literally, if there was a Queen Esther Foundation when I was younger, I probably would have been like, I don't know if I probably would have been much further, or like I would have been inspired or like more motivated early on in my life. And like, you never know what I would have accomplished back then, So it's like, had like the Rico of today, had a conversation with, 10-year-old Rico or 11-year-old Rico. First, I feel like I wouldn't even believe half of the things. I'd be like, man, you crazy.
You would hit yourself with marbles.
Right? So it's like,
I can sell so much marbles, John.
Right? you want to buy some marbles? That's the only thing I'm worrying about.
Real talk. But it's like, I don't know. I just want to create the opportunities I needed when I was younger. So it's like, I'm literally catering to myself. It's like, okay, what did Rico need when he was younger? And with my sister, it's like, okay, what did Rico need when she was younger? So like, we create platforms. And what we actually do now, we have a club. Whereas it's like, we help you like create a business plan. We help you like come up with like sales pitches, like, investors pitches. We tell you like, okay, you need a profit margin, you need to create capital, all of that. So like, we help people accomplish their dreams. It's like, we need more people that, offer their services. I wouldn't say for free, but I offer my services for free because then it's like, everyone don't always have the money. And even then, it's like, you might not have a family that supports you. So it's like, let's say I am doing something and you want to be a part of it, but it's like $150. Some families can't afford that, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer my services for free. And it's like, guess what? It's all part of the journey. Because once again, I'm only 20. So it's like, I can actually do this because I have a 9-to-5. So I'm like, I am financially stable. And I have parents that, if anything happens, like, hey, how you doing? Send me some money. So it's like, I'm in a position to do it. So I'm very grateful for that. So it's like, listen, I'm going to help as much people as I possibly could.
That's good.
And so, yeah.
That's dope. Yeah.
So I don't want to switch the convo a little bit, but this man has already gave us, let's say, almost 70 minutes of glorious achievement and content and positivity. How do you keep negative energy away from you and the leeches and the cloud chasers, bro?
Honestly.
Because when you like all what you done say was, once this camera cut off and we put this out, all your stuff out. And people are gonna be falling. Oh, he got this connection, he got that connection, he got that. All right, we need to target him. Let's see how close we can get to him to get some some of that benefit that he experienced in his own life onto us.
At least my thing.
Whether that be with friends or even relationships.
Okay, my whole thing is like, all right, I am a Virgo, so
man.
I'm like,
Oh man, how could you be so successful and be a Virgo? Wow.
what you mean?
Virgos is like one of the most hated, but go on. Really? Yes.
Oh, wait, what are you?
Virgo
What's
and
your sign?
Gemini, Aquarius.
Oh,
Be
right.
neutral.
No, but I can see because he's such. Right now, you're a perfectionist, right?
I am.
So that's why everything is so finely detailed, and when it come out, is prepped a certain way, and like you know.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead.
All right. Okay. So basically, for me, I don't know. Coming up, I honestly thought like I could see myself being a successful person in the future. So it's like, even in school, like I used to like. I was very fearful because it's like,
Okay.
you look around, it's like everyone have like a sad story. But I don't have a sad story. Like I went to a private school, I went to a Doris. It's like I was almost like I had a maid in the shade, right? Some people could say. So it's like, but even, I mean, despite all that, I still like worked hard for everything that I'm doing now. So it's like, I mean, I never really went to sleep hungry. Like if I went to sleep hungry, like that's because I just didn't want to eat what we had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, I never really had like bad people. I mean, you're like one or two people like coming up like in the culinary era. I remember like it was like certain chefs who like try to. I had one particular chef in particular who tried to like blackball me. So it's like, oh, if Rico part of this team, I want nothing to do with it. And then I remember crazy story. I was at Doris and. Me being me, I was like on the computer in the library doing my coursework because I was late, as per usual. And I said, someone's like, just type in your name inside like the document and see what like pops up. Just being curious. And I typed it in and it was like, anyways, it was a whole document, like a legal document about me. So it's like from like this particular chef. And it was like, it's basically saying like, okay, we have like, I want like literally nothing to do with this particular person. If anything happens to him, it's just like, I want nothing to do with it. Like I am like disconnected. And I was
that's
like, I
crazy.
printed that letter.
Right.
I printed that letter and I brought the letter home and I showed my mother and my father. And they was like, wow. And so my daddy, he could hold a grudge. Okay? So now like my daddy was like hurt. Mind you, me, I really don't care.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is just like, just carry on with your life, just go about your day. And so like, I still have that letter to this day. And like, I use it as like
Motivation.
because it's like, I'm like this little small fry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and at one point I actually wanted to stop cooking because I was like, is this what I really want to do?
Right.
So it's like, all right, when I saw like who was like watching me, I was like, all right, y'all obviously y'all see something I don't see. So let me keep on doing
Definitely.
until I finally could see what y'all could see.
And that almost play into your book title because are you a person? Because I find myself to be, bro, I rather you hate me than love me, bro, because the hate fuel me more. Or whatever. Would you say?
Nah, I don't want you to hate me now.
No, but when I say hate, like I rather you to have opposition because I know it's gonna tighten me up and I gonna go harder or whatever. Some people like you gotta funnel them a lot of encouragement and they probably a letter like that, they might just rip it up and don't want to see it because it brings down their spirit or takes them for a loop. But me, I'll blow that up and put that as a poster. Like if I have a house, that'll be on my front lawn every day. And I'll mark that off, like I read that every day and go to work or whatever. So like, like certain people are like, made up like that. Like, for instance, let's say, the Last Dance documentary came out and, you saw Michael Jordan's worth ethic. Like it's okay you call him a bass player, but it's like you say he can't do something like antennas up, it's on or whatever. Like,
And then he'll kick you off the dream team.
like. So would you say you're like that or do you feel like, okay, the reason why you held on to that letter is just to say, okay, this marks every time I do something and I look at this keeps me somewhat humble to know that people are out there or, this is a memento from the past to say how far I have came.
I don't think that keeps me humble. Rather, I keep it to this day only because it's like, it reminds me of like, okay, what I can be, like when I'm like in my like state of, okay, what am I doing with myself? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I feel like I haven't accomplished much things, you know? And it's like, all right, I'd look at the letter and it's like, okay, just keep on pushing. Like, just keep on being you.
Right.
But even then, like, I am a person, it's like, I focus on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just focus on me. So it's like, going back to like the whole, like, the negative people thing. So my thing is, once again, with the law of attraction, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, you could come into my life saying, you know, I come into this life to just ruin something or like the seed. I don't know, whatever it is. If it's like ill intentions, me being me, you know, me believing that, oh, I'm Christian and I'm protected. You know what I'm saying? It's like what was meant for bad will always turn around for good.
Yeah.
You need a Judas in your circle. Jesus had a Judas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look at the guy who owns Apple.
Yeah.
They kick him out. He created the company and like they kicked them out. And it's like, I mean, you gotta some people who want to take over some things inside your life. You know what I'm saying? But even then, my whole thing is like, I don't know. I just give what I want back. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just like really, I don't want to say I'm like really nice to people, but it's like discernment. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a bad feeling about you, I call it my spidey senses. Right. So it's like, if I have a bad feeling about you, I'm a distance myself. So it's like, I remember I was in New York and it was this lady. And she wanted to, like, we were doing a collaboration together. We had like our first meeting, and like I was just like, I just don't feel it. I just don't feel something isn't right. I was like, I don't like her. It isn't a personality. She had a great personality. It's just like, I just don't like something about you. Something about you. I just feel like, no, it's not going to work out. And I trust that feeling. So it's like, I was like, I don't think it's going to work out. It's like, okay, it was nice meeting you. We could still, you know, be friends. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't working together. But it's like, I don't know. I have a close circle, like a small group of friends.
I should be, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, even then, it's like in this quarantine, I literally only spoke to like my parents, my sister, and like two of my friends, like on a consistent basis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like when people come into you, like my whole thing is like, all right, you might come in saying, you know, you gonna wish ill on me, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, let's use Beyonce for instance, or let me see, LeBron.
Okay.
Right.
So
it's like
you met Beyonce's mother?
No. So the whole thing now is like when you're inside like certain circles, when you're around certain people, it's like we look at these people as like beacons of excellence.
Right.
You know, and like as a matter of necessity, it's like a lesser power must submit to like a higher power.
Yeah.
So that means in order for me to be friends with a particular person or for them to be friends with me, either I got to come down to their level or they have to come up to my level.
Right.
So now it's like, that's why when people say, oh, make friends with people who you think are like better than you, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, in order to maintain like a friendship with these people, in order to relate with them, you have to like do certain things. You have to like challenge yourself. Let's say I have millionaire friends and I'm the only one. I'm struggling to pay my rent.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but you're going to become a millionaire.
Right.
Huh?
I mean, if it's 5 of you guys and 4 of your friends are millionaires, you
could
should
be
be
number
the
5.
5th.
Right.
You be number
And,
5.
and then to your point about LeBron, and that's why, to me, LeBron is my favorite basketball player of all time. Not because of what he does in his profession, but what he does outside of that. And you brought him up because not what he did on the court, but what he did for Maverick, Rich, and Randy, or whatever. Like, he became empowered, and he empowered his friends.
Put all his boys on.
Put all his boys on. Rich got Clutch Sports, right? Rich got Clutch Sports. Maverick has Spring Hill Entertainment, as well as the Uninterrupted. Randy is his operations manager or whatever. So it's like, okay, this is my guys. This is who I came up with. So I'm gonna empower all of y'all, and y'all can help me empower. So when I focus on my craft and basketball, y'all can come with the business deals. Okay, we can sign off on this, and we can keep it in the farm. So I feel like you should keep your circle tight, but everybody in your circle need to be sharpening you as you're sharpening them.
Right.
And if they can't have that ability, you put them in position to do so.
Exactly. I mean, but sometimes you might try to put someone in a position, or you might try to like drop some jewels, but it's like, I feel like sometimes people try to, like, they self-sabotage themselves.
Yeah, but that's what you need to cut out.
Not even, I mean, I can't.
You cut like, that person off.
I wouldn't necessarily cut that person
off. Well, not to really cut them, but I'm saying,
like,
as a pretend.
My whole thing is like this. It's like, all right, I'm going to work on me, and in working on me, it's my belief that, guess what, just because you around me, or like because I'm around you, and I'm still trying to figure out myself.
No.
It's like, all right, let's say we're friends, and you're like doing like all these great things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I'm still struggling to be me, and I'm still struggling to see like look at someone who's like doing something that I aspire, like I look up to. I can't find no one who like inspires me. If I have a friend that inspires me, and I have a friend that is doing things like, all right, like I'd sit down and say, okay, I want to do something today, and I just do it. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, it changes the person. Like at some point during that journey, you gotta sit down and say, okay, obviously something ain't working.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta be real with yourself.
Okay.
You know? So it's like, I mean, I can still be your friend, but I feel like naturally, you know, if it's not meant to be, then it'll fade, because then it's like, all right, we can't relate on certain things, so then the conversation would be dry. So it's like, okay, we ain't really like being around each other that much.
Right.
So it's like, I ain't gonna say, okay, I'm gonna distance myself, because then it's just like, even like with a breakup, you know?
No,
what
but
I'm saying?
not in that scenario. I mean, like when they suck more than they give. They
Oh,
just
you know,
a
like the
leech.
people who's like,
Yeah.
like drain you.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh God.
Like you
Yeah,
gotta cut them.
still-
Yeah, like
just
a
go
cancer.
missing. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm
I don't
saying.
like
Like
that. Ain't cool.
people that suck and bring negative energy bring you down. You gotta separate yourself, because if you went adding to the situation and you're not trying to support the situation, it's fine that you're trying to figure yourself out. Go ahead and go figure yourself out. But don't take what I got going on from me or whatever. Like whatever you got going on, let that be contained within you or whatever. And then when you get right, come back over here where I right. And then either we can add or we could do some type of deal, but we can support each other as we go through our life living process and as we grow as human beings. So, you know.
Yeah, but I don't. You know, those people, like when you're talking to them and it's like you feel drained,
Yeah.
like physically
Really
drained. Listen, I would like. I mean, if I just meeting you, it'd be like that'd probably be like the last time we like talk.
Yeah.
But if it's like, all right, we cool, like we been cool for a minute, like a hot minute.
Yeah.
I'd address that. But like, I'll be honest with you, every time like we talk, it's like I get drained, and this is why, man. You gotta know why. It's always a why.
Right.
So it's like if you negative, that's very draining to me. So it's like I don't like people who like talk about other people. It's like, yo, I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. I don't know. Let's talk about. I'd rather talk about myself. I don't know. Let's talk about.
Oh,
if you can talk about bad
something
about someone, talk bad about yourself, and let's get off. Let's make fun of each
Right.
other. I don't want to. No.
Or some other stimulating conversation. Or if,
Right.
Yeah.
or if you don't even have something to talk about, it's like, fam, just wait until you have something to talk about.
In some
Even,
general,
like, you know,
right?
like
Yeah,
silence.
yeah.
Even.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
feel like
don't
that's like a level of like friendship. Like for you just like sit down and just be in like silence
you just
and like
chill.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
People think that's awkward, bro. Like they can't handle nothing.
Man.
Even sometimes people have to have noise in the background, whether it's a TV, it's music. Like silence is awkward for a lot of people. They feel
is.
like it could be the silence you're talking about where it's comforting.
Yeah.
But they just feel like it's emptiness and they have to feel it
Yeah.
or something.
Or they don't like dealing with themselves. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. Because I think that my
They
friends
got
or
to face
whatever,
reality.
how I really know I cool with you, if I could sit down like this. We don't hear nothing. We don't have to talk. I in my head and you in your head. And then like probably 10 minutes go by and be like, mother flip chart. Like we were like, mother flip chart. Yeah, let's go this. Yeah, buddy. Like, okay, we don't got to talk to communicate. Like sometimes I like to drift in my mind. And like we can still enjoy each other company because, okay, you focusing on what you focus. I just chilling out. We ain't got to, it's like, fam, you got to have some quiet time.
Real talk.
Or whatever. Life ain't that interesting where I need to talk to you on a day-to-day basis or moment-to-moment basis. For real, I don't care if you are, even if you a billionaire, bro, or whatever, like you're not doing that much
No, if
amount
you're a
of.
billionaire, I want to talk to you every day.
No, but I'm saying, but this is the thing. You want to talk to me about how to become a billionaire, but you ain't want to talk to me about what I do in my life. If
I want to talk to you about everything, bro.
So,
no, but I'm saying, okay, if you my friend, right, I'm a billionaire. That means, all right, let's say you a millionaire, right? I saying, yo, I went to travel, da-da-da-da. You talk to me on a daily basis.
Right.
If you ask me what I doing today, right, and I tell you I ain't going on my yacht from Monday, bro, I ain't doing nothing. I still on the yacht, chilling out, like, you know.
Right. I want. Wait, what you doing on your yacht?
Yeah, nobody it's like, yeah, but I'm like,
Am I
after a
invited?
while, it becomes normalized.
Right.
Right.
So it's
that's
like-
saying, right, it's really normal.
It's like, okay,
Bro,
it may not be
Jordan-
normal for
bro,
you.
Jordan said Kobe used to call him at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, but see, want to know things. But I'm saying,
Right.
was Kobe continuously calling him once he retired? Maybe
I
like,
don't know. Wait,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like it goes based off like the dynamics of the
Yeah.
relationship.
Right.
Because I have a friend, my friend Kimmy. When we was in high school, when we was in college, like we honestly could like sit down, like because she lived inside like a private apartment. I don't even know what to call it. That was like a private situation, but it was nice. So we'd be like at the dining room table,
Yeah.
and like we honestly would sit and talk from like 8 p.m. until like 8 a.m.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be like
Just it.
we wouldn't run
Forced.
like honestly it
Yeah.
wouldn't be forced. It'd be like time would like fly by so quickly, and then it'd be like, oh crap, I
gotta
class
go.
in like 2 hours or like 30 minutes, or like, oh, I'm like an hour late for class and I didn't realize.
Wow.
But like I have other friends where it's like, all right, we could just sit down and don't say anything and I enjoy it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But even then, like with some people when like they can't like they don't like silence, I feel like that was me to a certain degree. And this quarantine had to like put me in that space to be like, okay, because I feel like to a certain degree, I kind of was like running away from myself, you know? So it was like I had to deal with me. And this quarantine forced me to deal with me because now I am like stuck in my apartment for like months, 3 months, just being with myself, you
Yeah,
know?
Right.
that's the
And I
vibe, bro.
envied everyone else because I was like, yo, like my sister has my family, like all my friends in the Bahamas, like everyone could like drive to people's house, like
Right,
everyone in an
right.
Airbnb.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And I just here in New York, and I'm just like in this apartment, and it's just like, okay. And mind you, I had a roommate, and so it was we barely spoke even. So it was just like I was there by myself. It's like, okay.
Oh, y'all
Right.
naturally never spoke, or
No, I mean it's just like it's like one of those people like we don't have to speak every day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
but it's like when we do speak, it's like we let things build up. It's like okay, what happened this week? Well, this happened and
Yeah.
this happened,
Right.
and we discuss and then we talk for like hours, and then I get tired because I get tired of talking after a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like all right. I need a break.
gone.
She's like, I need a break. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
And then we
Next
just go silent for like another week, and then we come back together. And we
But
go.
even that dynamic for some people is weird, bro. Because like me, I like to be alone. I'm a loner at heart. Like this whole COVID thing, this preparing me for what I want to do later on. Like I want to go on an island, disappear from the world for a while.
For real?
You know, connect with no one.
crazy.
And then when I pop back in, it's a grand entrance, bro.
I feel like everyone wants to do that. Like
Yeah.
with me, you know, like you get them urges to be like, all right, let me just deactivate all my social media accounts.
Yeah, I be getting that urge
But-
almost on a daily basis, but then I was like,
Real.
fam, I got business and brands.
Real
around,
talk.
bro.
Like I wanted to do that the other day. I actually did it, and I was like 3 hours in. I was like, Rico, you have like you have to. You help people self-publish. Like,
Yeah.
how are they going to reach you? How are people going to know about these? And say, you ain't reached to that level yet. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like, nah, you got to put in the work. It's like, okay, just put in
Yeah.
your discipline. Say, okay, you ain't going to respond back to, you know, idle conversations
Yeah.
and just focus on work.
Right.
But yeah,
But yeah,
But-
but like, you know, even with your situation, people be like, how you can live with someone and y'all don't even talk? But it's like, but back to what I was saying, bro, life ain't that interesting where I need to talk to you on a daily basis, bro.
I mean, it could be that.
It could be,
but
but my life ain't that interesting.
Not every relationship.
You know, I feel like once you meet that right person, it's like the things you end up talking about, you were like, I'd never see myself talking
Yeah.
about certain things.
Yeah.
You know? That's why I say it goes based off of like the dynamic of, like,
the
the
relationship.
friendship
Right.
and the
Right.
relationship. Yeah.
But,
got two.
but yeah, I'd like to thank Mr. Neely for chilling with us, you know, with this interesting conversation. You know, it's almost like almost 2 hours.
Yeah, that's right.
I like this flew
It's
like
a 90-minute conversation.
90-minute
Right.
conversation. I won't hold him up much longer. But where everybody can find you, right quick.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram. My main account is Rico Neely 242.
I can follow you right now, bro.
Bet. Okay, so my main account is Rico Neely 242.
Uh-huh.
All my other accounts are linked to that one account in the bio. So my modeling account is Nuncy Speaks. That's NUNCY Speaks SPAKS. And then my food account is Cooking with Nuncy. That's Cooking with Nuncy. Nuncy is NUNCY. And Be Published is literally Be Published on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook at the Queen Esther Foundation. And Be Published is once again Be Published on
Are we going to
Facebook.
have all those links in the bio below?
Yes.
This way have the Muppets
I see that he got the Muppet shot.
Oh man. But we would like to thank you all again for tuning in to Erryting Kool. Peace, love. Yeah, see.
Yeah, more time.
Mm-hmm.